That's great. Then why?
Hopefully win.
Maybe don't win.
No, I don't think so. My wife will win.
She'll tell me.
Okay, so we're good, right? Okay, would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hasn't changed much.
No.
Good evening, pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of the regular meetings on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and by providing a copy of the annual notice of the regular meetings for the year 2014 to the Glen Ridge paper, Glen Ridge Voice, the Montclair Times, and to the Star Ledger on Thursday, January 7, 2014, and by filing said notice in the office of the municipal clerk. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick.
Here.
Councilperson Lesovich is absent. Councilperson Lefkowitz is absent. Dawson.
Here.
Theodoro.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Mayor Duce is present. Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Michael. Could I get a motion, please, to approve the minutes of our last regular meeting of March 10th?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
great. Jeff moved and Art second. Thank you. Any comments, council, on that? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Theodoro.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays. The motion is carried.
Great. Michael, any written communications?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We have 2 opportunities for grant. One is for the Department of Transportation for Transportation Alternative Programs, request for grant application. And the second also from the Department of Transportation for Safe Routes to School.
Great.
From the Essex County Board of Taxation, we received a certification of new construction improvements, which will help us with our budget.
Okay.
Received an invitation from the Township of Maplewood for their Green Day, 7th Green Day Festival, which will be held Saturday, May 17th. And finally, the County of Essex Department of Public Works delivered to the borough the Essex County Mosquito Control frequent questions and answers, which we'll post on the website and we have available in room 102 of the municipal building. And that concludes correspondence.
Okay, thank you, Mike. There's no one here from the public to speak, so I think we can skip that. I have no comments. Mike, is there a proclamation?
No, there will be one next week.
Next week, okay. Stuart, can I turn the meeting over to you?
Yes, Mayor. The Finance and Administration Committee has no formal report tonight, but we have a few resolutions. I have resolution number 55-14.
We have 5214.
I'm sorry. Let me go back here. Let's go there. 5214. Be it resolved that the following claims be approved and warrants drawn for the same. We have a current fund total of $578,342, of which payroll is $194,834, and our insurance coverage for the quarter is $179,419. And be it resolved that the Chief Financial Officer, Treasurer of the Borough of Glen Ridge is hereby authorized to issue the payroll for the employees of the Borough of Glen Ridge for the pay date of April 1st, 2014. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution.
For the resolution, I get a second.
Second that.
You are. Any comments? Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Theodoro.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
I have resolution number 53-14. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenue and appropriations shall constitute the local municipal budget for the year 2014, and be it further resolved that said budget shall be published in the Glen Ridge paper in the issue of April 3rd, 2014, and the Mayor and the Borough Council does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2014. Then there's an explanatory statement, which I will not go through, and A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the Glen Municipal Building on April 14, 2014 at 7:30 p.m., at which time and place discussions to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2014 may be presented by taxpayers and other interested parties. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Thank you. For the resolution, may I get a second?
Second.
Jeff, thank you. Any comments? Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Theodoro,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Mr. Mayor, I have resolution number 54-14. Be it resolved by the Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge, Essex County, New Jersey, that warrants be drawn to the below-listed homeowners and representatives in the designated amounts representing tax reimbursements resulting from a tax appeal. The total amount is $10,543.50 and are refunds for tax overpayments from tax court judgments 2010, 2012. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Jeff, thank you. Comments? Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Theodoro,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Mr. Mayor, I have resolution 55-14. Be it resolved that the mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Glen Ridge, that the following rates for the consumption of water in the Borough of Glen Ridge are hereby established, and said rates are to become effective with the billing of April 1st, 2014, and subsequent thereto. And again, it gives the details of what the charges will be. And be it further resolved that any resolution, motion, or ordinance inconsistent with this resolution are hereby repealed. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. May I ask Mike, off the top of your head, do you know what the percentage increase
Yes,
is?
2% on every item.
2% across the
It's
board?
yes.
Okay, on the water rate increase. Okay. Any other questions? Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Theodoro,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
That completes the remarks of the Finance and Administration Committee this evening.
Well, you're not done yet.
No, I'm just segueing into the next one. Mr. Mayor, there is no formal review, public safety review this evening, but I do have two ordinances.
Right.
I have ordinance number 1609, which is an for final reading. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 10, Vehicles and Traffic.
Right.
Mayor, this is state for record that this ordinance has been properly advertised and posted in accordance with the state statute.
I declare this meeting open for discussion of this ordinance, and only this ordinance, this being time and place for discussions. Anyone from the public here to speak? Seeing none, I close the hearing.
I declare, I'm sorry. I move that the ordinance be finally passed.
Right. Jeff, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion of Councilman Stuart Patrick, seconded by Councilman Jeff Theodoro. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Theodoro,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the ordinance is passed on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, I have ordinance number 1610 for final reading.
Mayor, this is state for record that this ordinance has been properly posted and advertised in accordance with the state statute.
We're introducing this, right, this ordinance, right?
No, this is a final.
Right.
This is final. This was an ordinance establishing titles for non-union and other employees of the Borough of Glen Ridge.
I got it. I declare the meeting open for discussion of this ordinance, and only this ordinance is being time and place for discussion. Since there's no one here from the public, I declare the hearing closed.
Mr. Mayor, I move the ordinance be finally passed.
Okay. Can I get a second? Jeff?
Second.
Okay. Heard the motion of Councilman Patrick, seconded by Councilman Theodoro. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick,
Aye.
Dawson,
Aye.
Theodoro,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the ordinance is passed on final reading.
That completes the remarks of the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Stuart. Councilman Lefkowitz is not here tonight. Art, you're up.
I don't have, I can't get the,
Here, Art.
thing to come on.
Mine's up if you want.
Oh, all right. I'd like to offer several resolutions. I have a brief report on activities since the last meeting that we had. Most of the snow has melted. The DPW crews have been working as quickly as they can to get ready for spring. The parks crew has started cleaning up, preparing the parks and athletic fields for use. So it's only been the last couple of days that the snow's been off and they haven't been able to do too much yet. So hopefully this storm that we're going to get now won't do too much to us. Roads crew's been out straightening street signs, replacing signs as needed. The staff has also received training about utility markouts, and the roads crew has been patching potholes at various locations throughout the borough. I think they've done a pretty good job. I don't think we have any major potholes like we see in some of the surrounding areas, so that's good. As far as the trees, we've taken down several small trees and done some in-house tree pruning. The borough forester discovered a tree with a potential hazard on Carteret Street that we promptly took down because it looked like it was potentially likely to get a big branch broken off it. So that's been done, and in fact it had a big hollow spot down the middle of it. There was also a resident tree that the forester had asked the guy about doing something about, and he hadn't, so we had arranged to do a resolution on that at our last meeting, and based on the fact that the resident realized that we were serious about it, it was taken down immediately after he was formally notified.
It's a great outcome.
So, and it needed to come down. It had a great big crack all the way down into the stump, so sooner or later it would have come down. It was right in the area where the middle school pickup is, so that was definitely a hazard. We've got our trucks and other equipment ready. We have a big salt supply now, so we should be able to handle any eventuality with this storm, and hopefully it'll go someplace else to start with.
I don't think I don't want to say.
Don't say it's not gonna snow.
Yeah, I'm not going to say.
All right, so I have several resolutions now. First of these is resolution number 5614, whereas it's related to the Arbor Day. J. Sterling Morton in 1872 proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Trees are also said to be a source of joy and spiritual renewal. So, whereas the borough of Glen Ridge has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways, now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the council of the borough of Glen Ridge do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2014 as Arbor Day in the borough of Glen Ridge, county of Essex, in New Jersey. Mr. Mayor, offer the resolution.
For the resolution, I got a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Jeff. Any comments?
Yes. Evidently Sterling Morton did not play golf. So, shoot me.
And having spent a lot of time in Nebraska, there's still not an awful lot of trees out there.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick?
Aye.
Dawson?
Aye.
Theodora?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Mr. Mayor, I offer resolution number 57-14, whereas the governing body of the borough of Glen Ridge desires to further the public interest by obtaining a grant from the state of New Jersey in the amount of approximately $3,000 to fund the 2013 Community Grants Community Forest Project Management Plan. Be it resolved that the mayor and council Deputy Administrator Michael Zucchelli, or the successor to the office, is authorized to execute a grant agreement with the state for a grant in the amount of $3,000 and to execute the contract and execute any amendments which do not increase the borough's operation. The Borough of Glen Ridge will match the $3,000 in compliance with the match requirements of this agreement. The availability for such match purposes, whether cash, services, or property, is hereby certified. 100% of this match will be made up in-kind services, and the grantee agrees to comply with all federal, state, and municipal laws, rules, and negotiations in its performance pursuant to the agreement. Mr. Mayor, I offer the resolution.
Heard the resolution, I got a second?
I'll second it.
Jeff, thank you. Discussion? Will clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick?
Aye.
Dawson?
Aye.
Theodora?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Mr. Mayor, I offer resolution number 58-14. There's a need for the County of Essex to have an agency provide leaf collection for county roads located in the borough. And there's a need for the Borough of Glen Ridge for road salt. The Public Works Committee has recommended that an interlocal agreement with the county would be the best method of fulfilling the needs of both parties. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the municipal clerk are hereby authorized to execute a contract with the County of Essex to provide leaf collection for the county in return for 200 tons of road salt. Mr. Mayor, I offer the resolution.
Heard it, may I get a second?
I'll second it, please.
Will the clerk call the roll?
Take the next one.
Councilperson Patrick?
Aye.
Dawson?
Aye.
Theodora?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
Just one question. What does this equate to, Michael, in terms of dollars? How much is 200 tons of salt?
200 is over about $7,000.
So that's the
Yes.
cost of what we're doing.
Plus this work we were doing before anyway, there was an overlap between what the county was doing and what we were doing, so rather than both agencies doing the same function, we decided to do it.
Well, it also goes to the issue of salt. I mean, we're
Right.
also gonna spread salt on some of the county roads.
Correct.
We're doing it anyway. We get to them sooner than they do, we get better service.
Yep.
Makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
and then we have the equipment to go along and pick the stuff up with that big leaf machine that we have.
Yes. Yes. So it's a good use of both our funds.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance number 1611 for first reading. I move the ordinance be passed on first reading. I'll read it by title. Ordinance 1611 is an ordinance to appropriate capital improvement funds for various capital improvements and equipment. So this is the first reading of it, and
That's all I need. And then, if I can get a second, Jeff?
I'll second it.
Dan, thank you. Any discussion, council? Mike, this is just, I mean, people can go on our website and they can see the list of the various projects, right?
Yeah. We're appropriating $66,000 for the public works and fields programs
Mhm.
and $34,000 for public safety equipment.
Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Patrick?
Aye.
Dawson?
aye.
Theodora?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the ordinance is passed on first reading.
Thank you, Art.
That concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. No resolutions this evening, just a few comments. First, I'd like to state and thank the county. Permits have been issued finally for both Watsessing and Glenfield. They were issued on Tuesday. We were in use on the fields on Wednesday, so didn't waste any time. As far as hours and what the grant was, basically it is a exact copy of what we received last year. So we're very happy with that. We'd asked for a few more hours. We weren't able to get them. You always try. But we're very happy getting 100% of what we were granted last year, and that'll go a long way towards helping our sports teams get up and running. Watsessing also, they've been able to raise the lacrosse netting, so that's in place for safety reasons. And the porta-johns, both at the county fields and at our in-town fields, were placed today. So very important to have porta-johns.
It is.
Our fields remain closed, however. There's just, we're just in this vicious cycle right now where so much saturation and the freezing that's taking place every night and the thawing out every day, we're just not able to release our fields for use. It would just be too damaging. We are aware of everybody's frustration, and we will open them as soon as possible, but we're just not able to give the nod for it yet. We'll also be calling in Rutgers study group to do an annual analysis of our fields this week.
Do Wednesday.
On Wednesday, thank you. So they come in and take plugs from various places on the field and then recommend to us what treatments to use for the ongoing year. So we're continuing to avail ourselves of their services and advice. The last thing I want to mention is tennis courts. The maintenance will begin late this week and throughout next week, and we do hope for an opening day of April 5th, weather permitting. And that concludes my remarks, Mr. Mayor.
Question,
Yes.
Jeff, what was the percent increase for the use of being a member of the public courts, the Freeman Garden courts, the Freeman?
The
Freeman
tennis courts?
Yes.
Year over year?
Yes.
Last year was actually flat. The big growth was 2 years ago, where it was, I'd have to double check, but it's between 10 and 15%.
And the fees, what?
We're up about 10%.
Just 10%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which still is probably as good a deal.
Right, we did an analysis first, comparing ourselves to like facilities in other towns, and we're still very much on the low end
Excellent.
on how we look there.
And it's been successful in getting good usage out of it.
It is, there are weekend days where if you don't have a reservation, you're not getting on.
That's big.
There was a recommendation by someone that uses the courts to the one hard court, to reline it for this different type of, it's a shorter game for mostly older folks
Yeah.
use it. I'm trying to remember the name.
Pickleball?
Pickleball, yeah.
This is news to me.
It was
My
some,
brother plays it a lot.
Pickleball.
Pickleball,
his brother's an avid tennis player.
yeah.
And it's something that, yeah, I think that they.
No, that's a good
that they'll-
suggestion. We
yeah.
should, maybe even just temporarily mine it, just for that, to see if we can get some interest in it.
Is that an all-weather sport, pickleball?
It's a shorter game. It's a
Yeah.
tennis game, shorter.
Oh, so it's played as tennis,
Yeah.
just on a shorter court?
Yeah.
Or you could use the do it with the washable paint.
Perhaps.
I mean, we're happy to look at that, and it's the first I'm hearing of it. I would just look at the trade-off between the usage of the court full-time for tennis versus giving it up for a different,
We're just painting it a
different
different
activity.
color as opposed
so multi-line it?
Yeah.
You can do that? Great, we'll look at it.
Well,
Yeah, we'll look
and
at
they have the washable paint too, and you could do it for a while with that, and if it didn't confuse
Hey,
things.
I need a smaller court for my own game, so.
But that's golf, Jeff.
Okay,
That does conclude my remarks. Thank you.
thank you, Jeff. Councilman Murphy?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief report on the Historic Preservation Commission's meeting with the homeowners that we're going to be, 245 homeowners that are going to be included in the historic expansion, historic district expansion. The hearing was held last Wednesday. It was attended by roughly 20 homeowners. We had an equal amount of folks that were not happy about the possibility of being included in the district expansion, and 4 homeowners that were very pleased that their homes are going to be included in the district expansion if that's the way the Historic Preservation Commission votes. The presentation was very well received by a lot of the folks who initially came in with concerns and had questions, good questions, and for the most part we were expecting a little bit more of a pushback, but after hearing from the Historic Preservation Commission and Margaret Hickey and the whole process, it's not as contentious as a lot of folks thought it might be, and subsequently they went home happy that perhaps the value of their homes might actually be enhanced by being included in the historic district. The Historic Preservation Commission will be meeting next week, Wednesday, to either adopt the expansion or not. And so we'll know whether or not they're going to. I know that they are leaning towards recommending to the mayor and council that they expand the district.
Dan, was there any buddy representing the country club here?
Yes, there was one fellow, member of the club, an attorney, I don't recall his name, And he was more there for a fact-finding mission, and he reported back to the board of the, and I do know, because I have heard from the president of the Glen Ridge Country Club, that they are not pleased about being included, and they will ask the Historic Preservation Commission to be excluded from the district expansion. Secondly, I have a resolution, number 5914. 5914, resolution of continuing support for the goals and purposes of the 2004 Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act. Whereas New Jersey Highland Water Protection and Planning Act, the Highlands Act, was enacted in order to protect the state water supplies and other significant resources. And whereas the Highlands Act was passed with overwhelming bipartisan support in both the New Jersey State Senate and New Jersey State Assembly. And whereas subsequently in 2008, the New Jersey Highlands Water Protection and Planning Council adopted the New Jersey Highlands Regional Master Plan and proceeded with a program for its implementation through a plan conformance process. Whereas the Borough of Glen Ridge is a municipality that receives all or a portion of its drinking water from sources within the Highlands region, and that the Borough of Glen Ridge relies on the resources of the Highlands to meet the current and future needs of its residents. Now therefore, be it resolved that the governing body of the Borough of Glen Ridge wishes that it be known that we strongly support the goals, policies, and objectives of the 2004 Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act and the Highlands Regional Master Plan.
Heard the resolution, may I get a second?
I'll second.
Stuart, thank you. Any discussion, council? We are one of a number of towns and municipalities and counties that have taken this up and approved it. I think it makes good sense for us to address our water supply and the quality of the water that goes into the water supply. So please include the mayor on that. Call the roll.
Councilperson Patrick?
Aye.
Dawson?
Aye.
Theodora?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Hughes?
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, resolution is approved.
Okay. Is that it, Ken?
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mike, any comments, the administrator?
Just one comment, Mr. Mayor. Copy of the 2014 municipal budget and utility budgets will be in room 102 for public inspection. It will also be posted to our website.
Okay.
That concludes my remarks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. John?
I have no report, Mayor.
Chief?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Mike, any new or unfinished business?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone from the public? Jackie Ustine, welcome. You missed the shout out that Jeff Theodoro gave to the county. You were just coming in as he was thanking the county for, we received our permits last Friday. We were granted exactly what we asked for in terms of permitting. They came in on Monday, and I think we started playing on Tuesday.
Immediately.
So,
Great.
please extend our appreciation back to the county.
Did you get everything that you asked for?
We got everything we had last year. We had asked for a little kick
More,
up, but you know, you try. But they were really very cooperative. We're very happy with what we received.
That's great. I will pass it on. I'm not that short. I'll just do this. Believe it or not, it's going to be cherry blossom season. It's hard to believe.
I know.
The county, once again, is going to be hosting a number of events. What might be interesting, they have guided historic park tours, and all of the county parks were designed by Stanford White, but the jewel of the county parks is Branch Brook Park. We now have a more diverse and more cherry trees than Washington. Many people from Japan come over to admire our trees. And I know I use every opportunity to go through the park in April, and I'm inviting all of our residents to do it. There are going to be guided train tours on Friday, April 11, and Friday, April 18th from 12 to 3 p.m., Wednesday, April 16th, and Saturday, April 19th, from 11 to 2 and 11 to 4. I had brought over these brochures.
Yep.
Uh,
Have one.
So it's going to be a 45-minute tour of the entire park with all of the history. And if you don't want to do that and you like your own free self-guided historic walking tour, there will be historic cell phone tours throughout the month of April. There is the various races. There's the Cherry Blossom Challenge bike race. There's a Cherry Blossom 10K run, a 1-mile fun run, and on Saturday, April 12, from 11 to 3 p.m. is Family Day. And Bloom Fest will be Sunday, April 13th. I also dropped off a number of books. It's called Let's Play, and they describe all of the different parks in the county and what you can do with them and how to enjoy them. So,
Thanks, Jackie. Appreciate it.
So Councilman Lefkowitz is not here tonight. Stuart, can I ask you for a motion to adjourn?
Yes, Mayor. I move that this council meeting be adjourned.
And can I get a second?
I will second that, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. That's very nice. Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Henry has a picture.
By name, I don't know.
He's an avid tennis player. And I was walking Riley by his house, and he was outside, and he was suggesting pickleball.
I mean,
It was
that,
featured on one of the news programs.
I'm something against it. No
big,
one has
it's-
requested it, so it's
it's
hard to
big.
do it for one person.
It's big, just, I don't play tennis.
Well, no, I don't mean you, I mean Graham.
Yeah, yeah.
But let me find out if they've really had any meaningful number
How
of
would you
requests.
find out if folks would be interested in something like that?
I call the head of the tennis back here, G, and say, what have you heard?
When you find out about the fields outside of the park, the Essex County fields, you do that through Michael, or do you do that through?
Jim Cowan has a contact with Dan, a gentleman named Dan Salante, who runs county parks. He's got his meetings to take in the requests for permit time on the various fields, and they're very close to the rest. They take everybody's in from all the different boroughs, and then they grant it, so there's very little opportunity to go back and forth and get something that you can get it on day one.
Hi.
Great, Chief, how are you?
Good. The country club actually has to be extended.
Yeah, yeah, they will make a formal building